Hi guys, welcome back to the Chelsea debate. We've just beaten Crystal Palace 4-1. Josh, I'm absolutely buzzing. You are as well, surely.
No, I really am, mate. Actually, it's what we've been waiting for, isn't it? We've had clean sheets, we've had a good amount of wins under the new manager, but we haven't really took a team apart, and that's exactly what we did today. Passing in the first half, in particular, was just so crisp. It was just absolute. It was just a brilliant watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we've threatened to do that a few times throughout the season, in fact, because we've got the ammunition in the team. But it clicked today, like you said, in that first half. And we're 3-0 up in the first half an hour. So let's look at the first goal, Kai Havertz. Talk me through the goal, but also him in general, because he looked quality in that first half.
No, he looked fantastic. It's what we've been waiting for from him, isn't it? He's shown glimpses all season, but today I felt like, particularly, in the first half, it really clicked. With the goal, obviously, it was Chris passing all the way, and then Hudson-Odoi played a really sort of intelligent ball into him, and he just took the time, which I liked. He showed great composure, and then just on his left foot, and just a great finish into the bottom corner. It was a brilliant goal, well taken. And, for a player that's took a bit of a bashing at times this season, I was thrilled to see him have that composure because, as we've seen with other players, when it's sort of not gone brilliantly for them, they take a snatch at it or, it was just brilliant to see. It really was, and a great goal and sort of set us on our way.
Yeah, he was so good. I texted you, didn't I, at that moment when the ball went over the top from Jorginho. He brought it down. I know the goal was what everyone will talk about, but how good was that moment over the top? And he touched it over the defender, didn't he? It was incredible, and it shows his sort of confidence to try something like that.
Exactly that. It showed his confidence. A great ball off Jorginho. That's actually got to be mentioned. And then Havertz, just the composure to take it down, like you say, and the intelligence. It deserved a goal. The move really did deserve a goal, I thought.
Yeah, he just looked really good getting in the pockets. He's playing centrally there, and there's going to be debate, I think, from now to the end of the season, who starts at striker. But with movement like that and sort of composure, he's put a strong case together there. So he got the. While we're on him, let's quickly mention the second half display because it could have been, a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I'm leaning more towards maybe an 8 out of 10 because he did miss two really good chances in that second half, which shows, there's still more to do. But how do you see that? Let's hope it doesn't dent his confidence. And it should be a positive, not he should think about the goal, not the two misses.
No, I completely agree with you. Think about the goal. Sort of forget the misses. Misses are going to happen, any player. And, one thing that we've not mentioned is still how young he is, still very early 20s. There's growth and there's development there. He's going to come on. And with the little bits that he's doing and, his first half performance, if this is him as a sort of young and relatively inexperienced player in terms of the Premier League, then I'm just excited to see where he can go and where he can develop. And we have briefly mentioned it before, but we've got such a young, 5 or 6 players that could actually just be the core of the team for the next, 5 to 10 years in reality. So it's exciting to see how he can develop from here. So he just needs to take the positives from today. And, like you say, it's an 8 out of 10, isn't it? As opposed to it could have been a 9 or a 10.
Yeah, absolutely buzzing for him. So if we go back 2-0 up, and it was almost bang, bang, and I'm like, all right, we've won this here because Christian Pulisic, how many times have I said I am his biggest fan, and I will continue to bang the drum about him. And if I refer,
Have you, mate?
I do. If I
don't think you've mentioned it.
I don't know how many beers you've had here. We refer back to last season, very loosely. You could see the Hazard comparison. I'm using that very loosely, but just in the style of play, he's had a really tough season, but he scored 2 today, and he looked on it. The first goal was brilliant, wasn't it?
No, it was a brilliant goal. Again, just the sharpness of the passing. It was really nice to see. So obviously, like Chilwell to Kai, and then Kai sets him up, and the way he just smashed it into the net. So it looked quite easy, but it was one of those chances that I think is also quite easy to miss. It was just brilliant to see, and he deserved that goal. He was unlucky the other night; he hit the bar against Porto, so he could have had a goal there. So I was brilliant to see, and you just felt like momentum was just building. Obviously, I know we're scoring goals, but I just felt like with each positive movement and obviously each goal, it got better, if you know what I mean. It was just sort of like the confidence. You could just feel something was happening. The confidence was building.
Yeah, I love the finish. He went for power when you're that close, into the roof of the net. And he is a really sharp player when you can sort of tell, can't you, when he's coming into form. And he scored in the previous league game, and he got a second in the second half that we'll come on to. But yeah, really encouraging. We got the third goal. We sort of 3-0 up. Kurt Zuma, it's just bog standard Zuma header. We know what he's like in the box. I think he actually might have had one cleared off the line afterwards as well, but this was one put on the 6-yard line basically, and he's the goalkeeper maybe should have gone for it, but Zuma's got to it first, headed it in. I don't know. I think that's 5 league goals now for him, so a really proper return from him, and he's a beast in the air. So
great ball in off Mount as well. Got to be said. To be fair, it was a good ball.
Yeah, you mentioned him there. Let's talk about Mount then, because he didn't get a goal today. Not for he tried. He had quite a few efforts, and it looked like he was going to at times. But he was just so good, isn't he? I don't want this video to be centered around Mount. We'll talk, about the others, but we got to give him a mention because he was just again superb.
No, he's player of the season, isn't he? Since we started doing these videos, he's just been so incredible. I could speak about him all day. It was great to see him be so influential for England as well, which I thought that was brilliant. So he continued the form there. And then today, like you say, he was brilliant, and he didn't get the goal, but it wasn't for the lack of trying. But it's just the player he's developing into. The sky's the limit. It really is, and I know it sounds a little bit cliche, but we've had some great attacking midfielders or just players at Chelsea, and I really do feel like in 10 years' time we're going to be talking about him, with the Lampards, the Drogbas. That's genuinely how good I think he can be.
We'll see, but he's got the attitude and he's got the work rate, and he looks a captain already. I know everyone's talking about him being the next captain. You sort of get that feeling. And for me, one of the biggest things as well, it seems like the whole dressing room, for someone so young, they respect him for what he does on the pitch. He's sort of, you can see his confidence building. Like you say, the whole England stuff's going to help. He really is growing as a presence on the pitch. We'll talk about Mount in loads of videos in the future, so come back to him. But yeah, really happy with him today. 3-0 up, cruising. I think we knew really we had the 3 points in the bag. It's difficult, isn't it? Because we started to go off the gas at the end of the first half, and then a bit of a slow start in the second, and Palace got a goal back. Any part of you like, hang on a minute, we're going to throw it away here?
No, to be fair, perhaps I would have been like that a few months ago, but we have looked so solid defensively, the last few months. So no, I was always confident. It was a bit of a shame to not get the clean sheet. I did feel, it was a great header off Benteke, but I did think, we possibly could have done better as a defensive unit. But it was what it was, wasn't it? It was, 3-1 up. You've just got to go on and make sure you kill the game off, which we did. So
I love that you brushed the West Brom result under the carpet. But you are right. We have been, aside from that,
as a whole, the last few months,
we definitely have. As Mendy pretty much didn't touch the ball. I've seen player ratings for him. I don't even remember him doing anything. Shame he didn't get the clean sheet. But yeah, that's that. And then we responded. I loved how we straight back on it, sort of clicked a gear again. Let's go. Reece James came on. He was obviously being rested for Porto, and Hudson-Odoi started. Who did okay in moments. Could have maybe end product a bit better, but yeah, we got the 4th goal. Christian Pulisic got a second. He's really, on flames right now. I think maybe a few weeks ago, you wouldn't know if he'd be starting a big game like the one coming up against Porto, but he's got to start that game because he came in the box and put it away. So he's got to start against Porto for me. Do you agree?
No, I do. We called, obviously in our reaction to the Porto game the other night, we both sort of agreed that energy is probably the way to go, and he's a great player to have in terms of energy. And today, you can't have a player do so well today and then drop him for the next game. I understand rotation and everything else, but in such a big game, we can't do that. So he's got to start for me. And I'm excited to see, I'd also start Kai Havertz again centrally. So I'm excited to see what those two can do again. You never know. Like, on the business end of the season, we've got 3 things to play for in terms of the top 4 race and then 2 trophies. So it'd be interesting. Can they strike up a little bit of a partnership and sort of get us over the line on more than one front?
We have Mount into that as well. You're sort of looking at 3 there. I tweeted out about those 3 starting when the lineup came out, and everyone was, very excited. And it's not a big number 9 in there, but it's a nice blend. And like you say, if Pulisic in particular gets back to top form, Mount playing as well as he is, Havertz growing, that's exciting. 2 more mentions before we wrap up the video. One, Jorginho. We've seen him when he's bad. He is bad, and I think I went in on him after West Brom. He was not good, but he's came back with 2 really good performances today. He just out of possession as well. Impressed me with his tackling. We know what he's like on the ball. He's really efficient. It's just a really good performance. I thought he deserved a mention in there. And
Go
on. He was good, wasn't he?
No, really good today. I like some of it. It's the balance that he brings. When he's on it, he does bring a great balance to the team, and that is important. But as you said, I did get called out by a couple of people on Instagram for how much we went in on him after the West Brom game. But you are right. When he's bad, he's bad. But when he's good, he really is good. So no, he definitely deserves a shout out today.
He was really good. And the final one, who we don't really talk about much, just because he goes about his job so much, is Azpilicueta. He pocketed Zaha. He was just crying about everything in the end. He just was. He's a spoiled kid, isn't he? That's how he acts on the pitch when it's not going his way. But yeah, Azpilicueta, again, just 7 out of 10 every week. Just so consistent. And you think about what's changed since the manager. Well, he's come in for every game in the league. So he's a big influence, maybe an unsung hero of the new manager anyway.
No, I think he is an unsung hero, isn't he? He doesn't as you say, he's 7 out of 10 every week. So it sometimes sort of quite easily gets sort of washed over because obviously there's, players who scored goals or done something brilliant that we mentioned. But no, he's consistent every week. Definitely an unsung hero. Actually, I quite like that. Yeah. He's been brilliant. He's been brilliant for so long as well, hasn't he? Let's be honest. He's like Mr. Reliable. You know what you're going to get with him, and I'm a big fan of his.
I think because he's now 31 as well, the back 3 suits him perfectly in that right centre back role. Maybe if he's an out and out fullback, he can struggle a bit. We know how good he is one-on-one defensively, but maybe lost a tiny bit of pace, and also in a back 2 as a centre-back, that's not really his role, but he's perfect in that. He helps players around him, whether it be Reece James or Hudson-Odoi there, or he's got the central centre-back. Really like him in that role, and yeah, just deserved a mention. So we'll wrap up the video, but we're up to 4th at the minute. Tomorrow, West Ham Leicester. Going to watch that game. That's quite an important one for us. I don't know for me, if Leicester win that game, that's not the worst result, because then that's going to open the gap up further for them. Whereas if West Ham win, it's going to tighten it even more. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I don't know. It's a hard one, isn't it? Like, a little bit of me agrees with you, but then I also think you've then also got a fair few teams going for one position. Whereas at least if West Ham win or there's a draw,
true,
it sort of keeps two places half open.
My mum supports Leicester, so that might be the bias, to be honest. Maybe I'm thinking they get in there. I just don't want West Ham to get in there. But there you go. It's really, really important we won that today. We've got a Champions League quarter-final second leg. We've got the FA Cup semi-final with Man City before we have to even think about the league again against Brighton. So it's nice to get that win, park it for now, and then we'll come back to it. So last thoughts on... I'll get your thoughts for Porto, because it's the end of our video. Perfectly set up now, isn't it, for that game?
Yeah, perfectly. Good performance against Porto. Great performance today. Both good results. Should be going in there with confidence. And yeah, it's a big week ahead, isn't it? As you said, with Man City to follow in the FA Cup. So yeah, I'm excited about this week, mate. It's a big week.
It's a big week. They all are at the minute. All the big games. And yeah, thanks for all the support on the channel. Absolutely love it. Follow us on Twitter at Chelsea_debate and on our Instagram, _Chelsea_debate. I'm going to go have a few more beers now, like you. So
Join me.
yeah, so cheers for all the support and we'll see you guys soon. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.